Okay, so Subhash, this is for NMDC. Can you just start with introduction first?
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Subhash Sansda. I am from Giridih, Jharkhand. Regarding my academics, I have done my basic schooling from Giridih and Bokaro itself, after which I did my BTech from BIT Sindri Dhanbad from the branch of Civil Engineering, after which I was preparing for GATE, and after scoring good marks in GATE, I got admission into IIT Kharagpur this year under the MTech program of Structural Engineering. Regarding my achievements, I won gold medal and bronze medal in the triple jump of which was organized by the All India ICSC All India Athletics Committee. After which I was also an event manager of Sports Club BIT Sindri. And regarding my hobbies, I like to watch, play, and cricket and analyze cricket a lot. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so Subhash, you're pursuing your MTech from IIT Kharagpur, right?
Yes, ma'am.
This is your second year?
No, ma'am. First year.
First year. Okay.
First
So
semester.
why do you want to go? Don't you think that you need to complete your degree first, your master's first, and then you need to go for NMDC?
Yeah, ma'am. That's the thing that I have thought about. But I wanted to explore myself more towards the practical oriented things, which I believe I would get here at NMDC. So that's why I wanted, as I got the opportunity to come here. So I wanted to go to NMDC. That's why.
You told me that you wanted to explore for practical opportunities, right? Why
Yes,
then you
ma'am.
joined only MTech?
Ma'am, I wanted to join MTech because at that time, at that instant of time, I was not having any opportunities. Moreover, I wanted to to study at that point instant of time to study more about the structures, which I got opportunity in structural engineering. So that's why at that instant of time I chose for the structural engineering. MTech.
Why you want to go for NMDC now, particularly NMDC?
Ma'am, as we all know, NMDC is one of the most prestigious and leading organization that we have in India, and and NMDC is one of those companies which not only takes a great pride in various metallic and mining works that it performs, but it also takes a great pride in contributing to social development, sustainable development, as well as becoming
Subhash, you
environment
just
friendly mining organization. Sorry, ma'am.
Can you just tell me the significance of the new logo of NMDC? What does logo signify?
Ma'am, the new logo signifies that it wants to contribute to the environment and become a environment friendly mining organization. And that's why it has also planted more than 30,000 samplings in and around the mines that it has. And it has also reduced its greenhouse gas emission by 9% in the past 10 years. That's why it has to emphasize more on that. It has put an environment logo on its sign.
See, Subhash, you had interest in mining and all that, you told me, right? So when did you develop the interest in mining? You have it. That is why you might be going to for this sector, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So can you just tell me which was the key area where the first mining was ever done?
First ever mining. Don't know particularly about that, ma'am.
Okay, which states in India are famous where we contribute or where we go for the mining sectors?
Ma'am, it's the Chota Nagpur plateau that it has. That is Jharkhand, Odisha, some of the parts of the Chhattisgarh, and some of parts of the Telangana and West Bengal.
Subhash, you belong to which city?
Ma'am, Jharkhand.
Jharkhand. And are you comfortable with the South language and all? You're aware about it?
Not particularly with all of them, ma'am, but I do know Hindi, English. That's all.
What about the transfer policy then? If you have to shift towards the southern parts, or you can say any eastern parts, there will be different jargons, and many people over there won't be aware about English also. Call about the basic Hindi and English. How would you converse with them?
Ma'am, if I get transferred to the southern parts of the India, like Karnataka, Hyderabad, then in that scenario, I would try to learn the language which the people use over there, which as much as early as possible. Like mentioned that I know Hindi, English as well as my tribal language, which is Santhali. So I do know a lot of at least 3 languages. So I believe that I would be able to learn the new languages as well.
The learning of language is not very easy. Basic jargons you need to converse over there. So at the initial stage, how are you gonna manage?
Yeah, ma'am, the initial days will be little problematic for me, as I would not be knowing a lot of things, but I will still be trying to know a lot of things. Like when I went to IIT, a lot of my friends that I have are from different cities and different states, and I try to learn few of the words from them, so I could communicate with them in their own language.
Tell me 3 personality traits in you that makes you fit for this post.
Ma'am, I do believe that I have a good time management skills, and that as I already have mentioned, that I was a event manager of Sports Club BIT Sindri, in which I had to do a lot of, I had to organize a lot of events. And I also believe that I have a good social skills, and that as I do believe that I can get along with people quite easily, whom I may not have known beforehand. And also, I do believe that I have a team bonding skills and conflict resolving skills that I have.
So, but justify one thing to me. The many people, many youth over India, they are going for privatization, right? But there are also an inclination towards PSU sector. PSUs versus privatization. Just explain the statement to me.
Sorry, ma'am, can you again repeat?
PSU versus privatization. Narendra Modi and every government is promoting private culture, and we, being the youth, need to be in the private sector also. But there is an inclination towards PSUs. What can be the reason?
Ma'am, on a ground scale, the youth of India, as we are of now, there are more inclination towards towards the PSUs, is because that uh, at that because they do believe that at the PSUs they would get a great working culture, a great bunch of people to be working with, and also they believe that they can contribute to the actual development of India, along with the growth in their skills, which they do believe that they will get more opportunity as well as stability here at the PSUs. So that's why the more inclination is towards the PSUs.
Okay, my last question for you. You just mentioned me that there will be a direct contribution towards the Indian nation, and you want to be one of amongst them. What you have contributed so far towards the nation? What has been your contribution till now?
Ma'am, on the environment scale, on a personal level, I have planted a lot of trees in my hometown, which would actually, even though in a small scale, but it would actually help in improving the environment. And what I do believe that small steps taking care of the can actually promote in environment, and that's all, ma'am. What I do believe.
Okay, so over to you, sir.
Yes, Subhas.
Yes, sir.
How are you, Subhas?
Fine, sir.
So it is visible to you?
Yes, sir. The screen is visible to me now.
Okay, so you have interview in NMDC, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is the post there?
Material management, sir.
Material management. Can you tell me the soil exploration technique that we have?
Sorry, sir, not able to recall it properly.
Name, I don't want any explanation that what is happening in the method. You don't have any idea about the soil exploration method that we have in India?
No, sir.
Okay, when you graduate, Subhas?
Sir, 2022, sir.
Recently, na?
Yes, sir.
Have you heard about this standard penetration test?
Yes, sir.
SPT.
Yes, sir.
So what is the purpose of conducting this SPT test?
So we perform SPT test to determine the angle of friction and bearing capacity of soil.
Angle of friction, can I write it with 5?
Yes, sir.
And bearing capacity of
Soil.
soil. Okay. Any idea about the test code that we have in SPT?
Any what, sir?
Idea about the test code. Which one code we are following when we are going to conduct this SPT test?
So sorry, sir, not able to recall the code.
Okay, bearing capacity code.
Bearing capacity code. Sorry, sir.
Okay. Have you heard about this raft foundation?
Yes, sir, raft foundation.
So what is the purpose of providing the raft foundation?
So the basic purpose of providing raft foundation is that we generally prefer it over those locations where providing the isolated footing, the provision of isolated footing, the dimensions come out to be very large. So instead of providing lot of isolated footings, we generally go for raft foundation, in which we make a mat of the footing of the foundation, and so that it will provide more stability to the structure.
And how we came to know now we have to go with the raft foundation? As you said, the dimension of the footing is increasing. कैसे
Yes,
पता लग गया सुभाष?
so depending upon the load of the superstructure that is being imposed upon the foundation, and also depends upon the bearing capacity that we have of the soil, whether if the location, if we have a certain location at which the bearing capacity is not so good for the isolated foundation, in those scenarios.
See, Subhas, this is a column that we have, right?
Yes,
And let this be the footing, right? Single
yes,
column, single footing. So I'm just talking about this isolated one, right? You
yes,
said that if the load is more, then what is the issue? Just
Hmm.
increase the base area of the foundation. What to do? If you are increasing
Yes,
the base area of the foundation, then definitely the stresses on the soil will be less.
yes, sir. But sir, the thing is that uh, the the spacing between the columns, which would ultimately is a definite one, and it can also result in the intersection of the footings. Uh, Therefore, in order to avoid that, we go for our foundation.
Have you heard about the differential settlement?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
So differential settlement basically tells that in a structure we do have a lot of columns, a lot of footings, a lot of and differential settlement states that the settlement which is taking place in each foundation, it's not uniform. It's the difference in the settlement that is happening between the two or more columns and the footings.
What do you think, Subhas? Will you allow any settlement in the structure or ultimately
Yes,
in
sir.
the foundation?
Yes, sir, we do allow a settlement, but that should be within the permissible limit, and that should be the uniform settlement that we want.
Okay, any idea? If you don't have any idea, then it is no matter. But if you have any idea, then tell me. When we are
So,
putting the isolated footing on the clay,
yes, sir.
isolated footing on the clay soil, then what is the maximum permissive settlement that we have?
So for clay, it's 65 mm.
65.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So suppose if we are putting this raft foundation,
So for route foundation, it will be on clay, sir.
hmm.
So 40 mm.
Okay. What do you think? For raft foundation, this settlement is less as compared to this isolated.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Sir, because for route foundation we do have a large base area, so settlement will be less.
Okay, which one code is saying this one? This is for raft foundation. When you're placing it on the clay soil, the settlement will be less. Allowable settlement will be less.
So I was unaware of it.
Okay. Any idea about the differential settlement value for this raft foundation?
It's a differential. So forgot.
और आइसोलेटेड फुटिंग के लिए?
सर फॉर 25
आइसोलेटेड
आवर्स
फुटिंग के लिए होती, हाँ, होती है कि नहीं होती?
सर डिफरेंशियल सेटलमेंट होती है आइसोलेटेड फुटिंग के लिए भी।
और राफ्ट के लिए?
अच्छा सर, राफ्ट के लिए तो सर डिफरेंशियल सेटलमेंट नहीं होगा सर, उसमें यूनिफॉर्म सेटलमेंट होगा
क्यों डिफरेंशियल नहीं होगा?
सर, क्योंकि जितने भी फाउंडेशंस है वो उनको एक मैट की तरह बनाया गया है, तो अगर उनका सेटलमेंट होगा तो एक साथ ही होगा, कोई ज्यादा कम नहीं होगा।
यही आंसर है सुभाष, कि डिफरेंशियल सेटलमेंट को प्रिवेंट करने के यही हम राफ्ट फाउंडेशन प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं।
हम्म,
जब हमारा स्ट्रेटा अनइवन होता है ना, सॉइल का जो स्ट्रेंथ होता है वो अनइक्वल होता है, एक जैसा नहीं होता, तो हम मोस्टली राफ्ट फाउंडेशन के साथ चलते हैं, राइट?
हम्म,
अच्छा, मुझे ना सॉइल का लिक्विड लिमिट चेक करना है। आई जस्ट वांट
हाँ
टू
सर।
चेक द सॉइल लिक्विड लिमिट।
हम्म,
ओके, तो मेरा सॉइल कैसा होना चाहिए? व्हाट टाइप ऑफ सॉइल यू विल यूज?
सर कोहेसिव सॉइल।
कोहेसिव सॉइल मींस व्हाट?
सर क्ले, क्ले सिल्ट, सब मोस्टली क्ले।
अच्छा, अगर सैंड भी प्रेजेंट होगा सॉइल में तो फिर आप क्या लिक्विड लिमिट नहीं कैलकुलेट करोगे?
सर लिक्विड लिमिट सॉइल के केस में कर सकते हैं, लेकिन जैसे कि हम लोग कैसा ग्राइंडर apparatus में हम लोग बनाते हैं, तो जब जो उसमें लिक्विड जो वाटर कंटेंट डालते हैं और जो हम लोग उसमें कटिंग करते हैं, तो उसमें 25 नंबर ऑफ उसमें मतलब कि जितना भी वो हम लोग जो सर्टेन वाटर कंटेंट डाले हैं, उसमें तुरंत ही मतलब विद इन शॉर्ट नंबर ऑफ ब्लोस इट विल अगेन मर्ज, which we which is not the principle which we want. That's why we perform on clay, in which we generally get liquid limit at 25 number of blows in the Casa Grande apparatus.
Plasticity index is showing what?
So plastic index is basically showing the range of plasticity state that a soil has.
Okay, अगर pA value ज्यादा है, suppose the pA value is more, what did it mean?
So it means that the ability of the soil to show more plastic state is more.
Okay, and which one particles are responsible to show this more plastic state?
Sir, clay particles.
So can we say if the pA value is more, then it means the clay content is more? Is it okay?
Yes, sir, we can say, because the plastic state is present only in fine grain soils.
Now let me know if pI is 0, then what it mean?
So it means that it's the cohesionless soil because it does not have any plastic state.
But you didn't took any cohesionless soil, na? You already took the cohesive soil. And how this pI come to be 0? आप सॉइल तो नहीं ले रहे हो ना, आपने cohesionless soil तो लिया ही नहीं, तो pI 0 आने का तो सवाल उठता ही नहीं है बस।
So, but every cohesive soil have a certain plastic index because it has a certain plastic state in it. So
have you ever conducted this liquid limit test?
Yes, sir.
Then you must go through the books also. Then pH 0 means what? You have this non-plastic soil, or rather you are saying you are not taking any type of this sandy soil along with this cohesive soil while you are conducting this liquid limit test. Then how this pH come to be 0?
Sorry, sir.
Are you getting what I'm trying to ask?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, now Jatin sir will interact with you. Subhas, we will give you feedback at that, right?
Yeah, okay, sir. Okay.
किसी भी टाइम पे बैठ सकते हो, देखना पड़ेगा। Yes. Hi, Subhash. How are you?
Hello, hello, sir.
Yes, hello. Okay, Subhash, just tell me the significance of this static indeterminacy and kinematic indeterminacy.
Sir, static indeterminacy basically tells about the type of forces that we have, which is more than the equilibrium equations that we have. And kinematic indeterminacy basically tells about the degree of freedom that we have in the structure.
Degree of freedom.
Yes.
Okay. Suppose that you are going to analyze the structure. So what type of method would you choose?
Sir,
If we have two methods to analyze the structure, force method and displacement method, so in that case, which method would you prefer?
So that depends upon the total number of unknowns that we have. If the degree of freedom is less in the structure, then we will go for the kinematic indeterminacy. And if the degree of static indeterminacy is less, then we will go for the static indeterminacy one. Force method.
If ds less than dk, then you use the force method. If dk is less than ds,
dk is less than ds, displacement method.
okay. And okay, dk. Oh, suppose that dk of the structure comes out to be 2.
Okay.
Now tell me this: if dk is 2, then what it signifies?
Then it signifies that it has degree of freedom equal to 2. It can show freedom into 2 of the direction that we are considering.
Freedom to direction?
It can be direction, it can be rotation, it can be that depends upon the structure that we have.
Well, only 2 degree of freedom is there. That means only 2 rotation. Let us suppose rotation is there. So only 2 rotation is there.
In the structures, if there is 2 nodes, then 1 rotation at each node.
Okay. What is stiffness?
So stiffness is basically the force or the moment which is required to produce unit displacement or rotation.
Okay. What is the difference between the reaction moment or the carryover moment at the fixed put?
Reaction moment. So carryover moment is the moment which the structure shows in order to carry the moment that is being applied externally, and reaction force is the reaction moment is the moment that the structure develops in order to resist the external moment.
Hooke's law is valid up to which point?
So proportionality limit.
Okay, proof stress क्या होता है?
सर प्रूफ स्ट्रेस होता है कि 0.002 स्ट्रेन पर मींस 0.002 स्ट्रेन पर जो हम लोग को स्ट्रेस का वैल्यू मिलता है, जब हम लोग एक लाइन ड्रॉ करते हैं which is parallel to the which is parallel to the line up to the proportionality limit, और जो माइल स्टील का ग्राफ को कट करता है स्ट्रेन कर्व में.
स्ट्रेस रिलैक्सेशन क्या होता है?
कैसे?
स्ट्रेस रिलैक्सेशन.
So sorry sir, I don't know about.
Okay. If you have a non-ferrous material and this material is subjected to cyclic loading.
Okay.
So in that case, how will you design the material?
There's a non-cyclic. Sir, for fatigue को sir non-cyclic या cyclic बोले?
Cyclic loading.
So
cyclic loading. Non-ferrous material.
Non-ferrous. सर तो उसमें फटीग को कंसीडर करेंगे जो उसका एंड्योरेंस लिमिट है.
What is this endurance limit?
So endurance limit is the maximum limit that it can withstand when cyclic loading is being imposed on the material.
Cyclic loading. So is there any number of cycles?
So infinite number of cycles.
Okay, let me give you feedback. First of all, DS and DK represent क्या करता है? DS, as you said that कि degree of static indeterminacy represents suppose that degree of static indeterminacy दो आती है, हमें दो मिलती है स्ट्रक्चर की, तो इसका मतलब है मिनिमम वी रिक्वायर द टू अननोन्स टू एनालाइज द स्ट्रक्चर्स। इफ वी फाउंड द टू अननोन्स, so to find that two unknowns, we have some additional equation along with these equilibrium equations like compatibility equation or energy equation. You can use any equation. Similarly, in the same case, dk, if dk comes out to be 2, then it also signifies that we require two unknowns, minimum two unknowns. We require minimum two unknowns to analyze the structure. So it can you can found by using compatibility equation और energy equation methods, ठीक है। तो ds एंड dk बेसिकली सिग्निफाई तो ये करता है तुम्हारा, और जैसे तुमने बताया कि dk 2 आता है तो इसका मतलब 2 डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम होगी। इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि 2 डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम होगी, तो इसका मतलब बस एकली यही होता है कि आपको 2 अननोन्स की रिक्वायरमेंट चाहिए एनालाइज करने के लिए स्ट्रक्चर में। इफ यू नो द 2 अननोन्स यू कैन एनालाइज द होल स्ट्रक्चर, ठीक है। सेकंड, नॉन फेरस मेटेरियल, बाकी सब तुमने सही बताया। नॉन फेरस मेटेरियल के लिए, बिकॉज वी हैव टू मटेरियल, फेरस मटेरियल एंड नॉन फेरस मटेरियल, तो फॉर फेरस मटेरियल लाइक example is mild steel. Mild steel is a ferrous mixed alloy of the iron and carbon, ferrous material. For the ferrous material we design the material for the endurance limit, in the case of fatigue, in the case of cyclic loading. But if we have a non ferrous material, we design the material for the number of cyclic of loading, the given number of cyclic, because as the number of cyclic of loading increases the stress level decreases. So in the case of ferrous material, the graph first decreases, then after some points it becomes constant. But in the case of non ferrous it doesn't, constant नहीं रहता है, ये continuously decrease करते रहते हैं, ठीक है।
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो बाकी सब ठीक है, तुमने सही बताया, तो मेरे तरफ से वो सब ओके है। ओके, बाकी
Thank you, sir.
वो फीडबैक देते हैं।
यस सुभाष,
Yes, sir.
देखो मैंने आपको पहले बोला कि कोड का जरूर आप ध्यान रखें। तो देखो जो जो मैंने आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछे कि सॉइल एक्सप्लोरेशन की जो टेक्निक है, मेथड, जैसे ओपन एक्सकवेशन है, बोरिंग मेथड है, जियो फिजिकल मेथड है, एटलीस्ट नाम तो ध्यान रखो।
Okay, sir.
जैसे माइनिंग वाला आपका ये जो इंडस्ट्री है,
Yes, sir.
वो पूछ सकते हैं ना कि कौन कौन सी
Yes, sir.
टेक्निक है जिससे आप बोरिंग कर सकते हो, या माइनिंग आपने कभी वर्ड सुना है उसके बारे में कुछ पूछ सकते हैं। तो वहां पे पिन ड्रॉप साइलेंस नहीं होना चाहिए सुभाष सर, सॉरी,
Okay, sir.
आई डोंट नो,
Hmm.
है ना, अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली है तो इसको आपको ग्रैब करना है,
Yes.
राइट। आपको आउट ऑफ बॉक्स जाके चीजों को सोचना पड़ेगा,
Okay.
राइट।
Okay,
और
sir.
एसपीटी जैसे स्टैंडर्ड पेनिट्रेशन टेस्ट, और भी देखो इसको बहुत सारे पर्पस है, डेंसनेस निकालने के लिए, राइट, शियर स्ट्रेंथ पैरामीटर हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं, बीयरिंग कैपेसिटी हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं, राइट, और भी इसके बहुत सारे यूज होंगे स्टैंडर्ड पेनिट्रेशन टेस्ट, है ना। जैसे कोड का नाम ध्यान रखना, कोई इशू नहीं, कोई बड़ा ये फ्लॉज नहीं है। तो आइए, जैसे 2131 कोड है,
Hmm.
ठीक है। अच्छा, राफ्ट फाउंडेशन, तो जनरली क्या होता है सुभाष, जैसे मान लो ये मेरे पास कोई ऐसा प्लान है, राइट,
Hmm.
तो यहाँ वाला सॉइल का, मान लो ये जो सॉइल है, मान लो ये हार्ड है फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ये वाली सॉइल मान लो यहाँ पे सॉफ्ट है फॉर एग्जाम्पल, और ये वाली सॉइल मान लो मॉडरेट है,
Hmm.
ओके। तो होगा
Yes,
क्या
sir.
कि जब मैं इस सॉइल के ऊपर, मिट्टी के ऊपर अपना फाउंडेशन फ्रेम करता हूँ, बनाता हूँ, तो होगा क्या, जो सॉइल सॉफ्ट होगी वो ज्यादा यहाँ पे सेटल कर रही होगी
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
फाउंडेशन के नीचे वाली, मॉडरेट वाली कम करेगी, हार्ड हार्ड वाली बहुत कम करेगी। तो अनइक्वल सेटलमेंट होगा जिसे हम डिफरेंशियल सेटलमेंट बोलते हैं। तो अगर हम यहाँ पे
Hmm.
आइसोलेटेड फुटिंग के साथ चलते हैं, तो डेफिनेटली हमें बहुत ज्यादा यहाँ पे स्ट्रक्चर में हार्मफुल इफेक्ट देखने को मिले। तो हम क्या करते हैं, वी आर गोइंग विद द राफ्ट फाउंडेशन।
Hmm.
नाउ दे कैन आस्क यू कि हाउ यू कम टू नो द सॉइल इज सॉफ्ट, मॉडरेट और हार्ड। तो आप बोलो सर यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि जो एनबीसी है, नेशनल बिल्डिंग कोड है,
Hmm.
ओके, और
अच्छा.
इवन जो हमारा ये सीपीडब्ल्यूडी, सेंट्रल पब्लिक वर्क्स डिपार्टमेंट, इनके कोड्स आते हैं, मैनुअल आते हैं। तो डायरेक्टली इनमें ना जोनल वाइज, पूरे भारत का जोनल वाइज ये बियरिंग कैपेसिटी फ्रेम करके रखते हैं। और इवन
अच्छा.
अगर आप किसी अच्छी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में काम कर रहे हो, देन जियो टेक्निकल इंजीनियर विल प्रोवाइड यू डाटा एवरीथिंग, कि यहाँ पे सॉइल का बियरिंग कैपेसिटी कैसा है, यहाँ पे कैसा है, यहाँ पे कैसा है। ये एक डिजाइन का क्वेश्चन बन जाएगा, राइट
अच्छा.
राइट, लेकिन आपको आइडिया होना चाहिए,
Hmm.
राइट, उसके बिहाफ के ऊपर
Yes.
आप आंसर करो। और जब यहाँ पे जो एरिया होता है, वो अगर मैं इंडिविजुअल फुटिंग के साथ चलता हूँ, आइसोलेटेड के साथ, मोर देन 50%,
Hmm.
मतलब जो एरिया है वो ज्यादा की रिक्वायरमेंट होगी, जो प्लिंथ एरिया है उसका 50% से ज्यादा एरिया यहाँ पे हमारा कवर हो रहा है इसी आइसोलेटेड फुटिंग के थ्रू, तो हम क्या करते हैं, वो कंबाइंड फुटिंग ही दे देते हैं। तो ये जो राफ्ट फाउंडेशन कंबाइंड फुटिंग के अंदर ही फॉल करता है,
Hmm.
कंबाइंड फुटिंग बोल दो, कंबाइंड फाउंडेशन,
Yes.
राइट।
Yes,
बाकी
sir.
थोड़ा देखो टेस्ट में ना आप अलर्ट रहना, जैसे लिक्विड लिमिट है, तो आप देखो कोड यहाँ पे क्या बोलता है सुभाष, क्योंकि कोड ही आपको सेव करेंगे इंटरव्यू में। तो हमारा जो कोड है, ठीक है, इसका आप चेक कर लेना पार्ट 1 IS 2720, ये मेरा टेस्टिंग का कोड होता है। तो इसमें कोड बोलता है कि आप वो सॉइल यूज करोगे जो 425 माइक्रोन IS सीप से पास हो जाए। इससे जो पास हो जाए, अब 425
Yes.
माइक्रोन सीप से जो पास होगा तो फाइन सैंड भी होगा।
Yes, sir.
PI0 मीन्स व्हाट? तो नॉन प्लास्टिक सॉइल है। मतलब देखो उसमें क्ले कंटेंट भी होगा, सिल्ट भी होगा, लेकिन ज्यादा परसेंटेज किसकी हो जाएगी? फाइन सैंड की रहेगी।
Fine. Yes, sir.
आर यू गेटिंग? और
Yes, sir.
पीआई अगर ज्यादा होता है ना, तो यहाँ पे क्ले कंटेंट हम लेके चलते हैं वो ज्यादा है। हम कभी भी क्ले मिनरोलॉजी के साथ नहीं चलते कि कौन सा मिनरल ज्यादा है, क्ले कंटेंट ज्यादा है बस।
Clear content. Okay.
ठीक है,
Okay, sir.
थोड़ा वर्क करो इनके ऊपर। कब है आपका इंटरव्यू सुभाष?
Sir, परसों है, sir.
ठीक है, आपका कॉन्फिडेंस ठीक है, बस थोड़ा सा आंसर करना वहां पे जाके ना, खाली कॉन्फिडेंस से कुछ नहीं होता है,
हाँ, sir.
आंसर करना है वहाँ, राइट? नाउ
Okay, sir.
शुभम विल इंटरेक्ट। एनीथिंग एल्स यू वांट टू आस्क सुभाष?
No, sir.
ओके, डन। ओवर टू यू शुभम।
Okay, yeah, Subhash, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Subhash, first thing is you need massive improvement in your HR. Just give me one
Okay.
minute. I tell you the reasons. I asked you a number of questions, right? It started from your introduction. Introduction, you don't need to tell about your schooling and all that. Those things you could actually eliminate. They're unnecessary part. You directly jump to your graduation. That is much important. Or you talk about your skill set. Then you are talking about some of your running and all that. That is not required. You can just mention about your athletics. I'm into athletics. I can do this and this thing. That is much required. Okay. So what is there is introduction part is wrong of yours. It needs to be changed. And I made a video also. You can see from there also. Yeah.
Okay.
Just give me a minute. Okay. So next you have Subhash, when I talk to you about your why you joined MTech. It should not be like, ma'am, I just joined it because I needed some kind of a practical exposure. kabhi mujhe kuch chahiye tha, kabhi kuch chahiye tha. You are actually confused about it. You should say it out like, ma'am, I joined MTech because of my further studies and I plan ki till the time I get any PSUs, मैं अपनी knowledge को और expand कर लूँ. ठीक है, तो मैं knowledge को expand करना चाहता था, इसलिए मैं MTech के लिए आया हूँ. Because there your knowledge actually gets expanded and you get more awareness about your knowledge curriculum. Diversity होती है. PSUs में पर्टिकुलरली क्यों जाना चाहते हो मैम? फर्स्ट थिंग, वहां पे स्टैटिक प्रोजेक्ट्स नहीं होते हैं, कभी भी डायनेमिक प्रोजेक्ट्स चलते रहते हैं. ठीक है, बहुत डाइवर्स कल्चर होता है, डाइवर्स लोग इंटरेक्ट करते हैं. तो व्हाट इज देयर? वी एक्सचेंज नॉलेज, नॉलेज इनरिचमेंट इंक्रीजेस. थर्ड इज वर्क कल्चर इज रियली गुड ओवर देयर. PSUs versus privatization, that was an actual question that was asked. इसमें ये नहीं बोलना कि मैम जॉब सिक्योरिटी है, ये है, नहीं. It is, ma'am, privatization is also very good. The only concept which I feel from my side is it might be subjective कि प्राइवेटाइजेशन में कुछ टाइम बाद आपके स्टैटिक वर्क होना शुरू हो जाता है, यू कैन नॉट मूव. लेकिन अगर हम गवर्नमेंट के प्रोजेक्ट्स में काम करते रहेंगे तो बहुत ज्यादा मूवमेंट है, इन्फ्लक्स है, और एक्चुअली वो हमारी नॉलेज को इंक्रीज करता है. डाइवर्सिटी प्रोजेक्ट्स की मिलती है एंड इन अ फ्यू इयर्स आई कैन सी मेरी नॉलेज बहुत ज्यादा एक्सपैंडेड है. ठीक है, वाई NMDC, दैट इज ऑल. अगर उसके न्यू लोगों के बारे में, हाउ वुड यू कन्वर्स विद देम? मैंने पूछा था कि लोग अगर डिफरेंट जार्गन्स के होंगे, ये आप बार मुझे ये बोल रहे हो एक चीज की मैम मैं सीख लूंगा. How will you interact at the very initial stage? It should be, ma'am, I'll interact with them at the very initial stage through, you can say, Google Translator. Google Translator tricks and all that मैं use करूंगा, उसके बेसिस पे मैं क्या करूंगा, interact कर सकता हूँ. ठीक है, तो this is they actually check कि आप situational questions को कितने अच्छे से manage करते हो. जैसे subordinates में लड़ाई होगी, कोई boss rude है, कैसे समझाओगे? These are all the situational questions, right? 3 personality traits, saber okay. PSUs versus privatization, so you have to give a very diplomatic answers. Ma'am, I am justified with both the things. I agree our government is being promoted and privatization actually gives employment to more number of people. PSUs में थोड़ा different sector हो जाता है, but obviously being an engineer, being a budding engineer, उससे क्या है, मेरी knowledge enrich होती रहेगी. तो मुझे लगता है मेरे को different cultures पे काम करने की जरूरत है. ठीक है, तो HR थोड़ा सा अपना बेटर करो, इंट्रो अपनी बेटर करो, एंड सिचुएशनल क्वेश्चन से आस्क डिफरेंट सिचुएशनल क्वेश्चंस. It depends on panel to panel. You can have a good number of HR, you cannot have an HR also. So you should be prepared accordingly. I don't think we have interacted ever. You have interacted with me. I don't know about it. Have you interacted? No. What are the reasons you did not interact? I don't know. Right?
Ma'am, I interacted with Dr. Vijender, sir. And,
see, there are different, like I take your guidance for your introduction and all the situational questions. There are 4 different mentors and interact with all of them. That would actually help you in the feedbacks. Every person will give you different feedbacks through your confidence. I could not see much of the difference in that. Improvement पे जोर लगा लो. ठीक है? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
चलो, all the very best. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am.